This week's episode of Wine Wars is sponsored by Audible. Go to audibletrial.com/Wine Wars to get a free audiobook and a 30-day free trial of Audible. Whether you want to listen to a book about wine or a book about Star Wars, Audible has you covered with over 180,000 titles to choose from. Audible works on your iPhone, Android phone, Kindle, or MP3 player. That's audibletrial.com/Wine Wars.
This week's episode of Wine Wars is also sponsored by Winc. Go to trywink.com/Wine Wars for $20 off your first purchase of 4 bottles of wine custom selected for your palate. Our wines this month included a bottle of 2015 Restless Earth Syrah from the Highlands Vineyard in Santa Barbara, California. It's an easy drinking Syrah with good acidity, medium tannin, flavors of chocolate, cinnamon, and dark fruit. For more in-depth information about Winc, listen to episode number 55, where we talk about our experience signing up with Winc and receiving our first shipment of wine. Again, that's trywink.com/Wine Wars for $20 off your first shipment of Winc wine. Enjoy the show.
Previously on Wine Wars.
Do you have a white glass?
Nope. We ran out because we were in the...
Damn, they're cleaned out.
And I just reused ours from lunch because we were drinking at lunch. What? Fuck off.
Wine Wars, the show with 4 friends who love 3 things: wine and Star Wars.
Welcome to Wine Wars. You're joining the 4 of us as we sniff, sip, and talk about wine live from our dining room here in Madison, Wisconsin. I am your excellent host and spectator, and with me as always are Amy.
Hello, Anne.
Good evening. And Jason.
Hello, I'm so happy to be here.
I don't know if anyone believes you anymore.
You can't see my smile?
I see it.
I can
It's
hear it.
genuine.
It's true.
It's genuine.
It's true. He's happy, even though we just burned some hair off your head.
Yep.
That was a thing that happened.
Mic check, mic check. What's that smell? Oh, it's my head.
But the candle offered so much ambiance. It was worth it.
Worth it.
And Scott.
I got some
Hi,
new
Ann.
curlies.
What?
I got some new curlies.
You didn't tell him
Smells
about my
weird.
pubes, did you?
Does this Sauv Blanc smell like burned hair?
Yeah.
So tonight's episode is a fan request, and we are happy to do that work for you. That's like we're here for that. And
Put us to work.
Yeah. So our fan Kayleen is getting married in July. And she is a huge fan of New Zealand wines, and especially Sauv Blancs, which is
It's what they're known for.
It's a New Zealand thing, sure. She actually knows a lot about them already, but we thought we would take a deeper dive into them, learn some more, give some suggestions. She's picking out her wedding wines and just give our thoughts
Very cool.
on New Zealand wine. I mean, she's getting married here in Wisconsin,
Not
it
New
sounds
Zealand.
like. No. But why not bring a little bit of New Zealand to your wedding?
That'd be a cool destination wedding, though, New Zealand.
Oh my gosh.
Well, you know what'd be cool about it? Nobody would come.
I know.
Yeah.
That's what
Very
I'm saying.
romantic.
Yeah. It'd be like eloping, except you get all the presents.
Oh, no. Did
we
you
don't have
guys
to
miss
ship 'em in and
presents
out.
during your eloping?
Yeah. We had like a 9-month, 2-week, 4-day, 12-hour party. You were there. You don't remember that at all?
A 9-week... I
After
thought
we
you
got
meant
married.
a party that sustained itself for that long. You
No.
mean at that point. Yeah.
Yes.
That
we
was
held
super fun.
just an arbitrary date, like 9 months after we got married.
I wore my most sparkly necklace for that event.
Yeah,
You were there.
you
It
were
was
there.
really fun.
It was good.
Yeah.
But then I think people gave us a few gifts there. So.
Yeah. But I mean, like, we didn't go to Bed Bath & Beyond and register for china and silverware and stuff.
You totally missed out on your toaster oven opportunity.
Yeah. We just, like, went to the store and picked one out.
With the excessive amount of cash you had to
adults.
burn.
Anyway, so congratulations to your friend getting married. That's awesome.
I'm really very excited for our fan.
What was her name again?
Her name's Kayleen.
Kayleen. Kind of like Jolene.
Jolene.
Kayleen.
You really had Dolly's vibrato there, Scott. We're knocking it
I mean, she has a lot of jiggling.
out. Apparatus.
A lot of jiggling.
built
I love
in.
her so much.
Ditto. She's so great.
That's what that was our dinner music, which is a thing that I'd like for us as wine warriors to talk about more, is how we pair our wine with our music, because there's a connection there. And tonight we chose Dolly, so
So what was the connection?
Kayleen.
I think,
Oh,
Kaylee.
gotcha.
Can we talk about
and that was the first song that
played?
they played.
Yeah. This is like magic is happening right now, and you have to stop and pause and look for it sometimes, but it's there.
Yeah,
there.
synergy.
The other cool
happening.
thing that we heard randomly from Alexa, thank you, was Dolly Parton did The Story by Brandi Carlile. And
Magnificent.
I guess a bunch of artists are recording all 14 tracks from The Story by Brandi Carlile. And she did like the big hit from that. All of these lines, but that song.
Yes.
You're asking the wrong guy.
You don't know Brandi
You don't know
Carlile
Brandi.
songs?
You are missing out on
Scott.
life not knowing that record.
Pull your shit together.
I know I'd know it if I heard the original.
I'm like, this is
Yeah.
me right now.
I am
like,
Yeah.
long blinks.
Yeah.
What?
Sorry.
What long blinks?
I think the show just broke up here.
I think
Is this how
there's
Wine
definitely
Wars
a,
ends?
there's definitely a line. There's definitely a line in the table, and you're gonna need to come on this
I think
side.
maybe Brandi Carlile filled a gap for you that Led Zeppelin was filling a gap for me.
No, I love Led Zeppelin.
Well, you don't love the way I love it, I don't think.
Oh, fight.
Oh,
Okay, let's mud wrestle.
We're going to test our Zeppelin loves.
Ooh.
no, we don't need to do that.
Well, so I didn't play that game on the internets with the 10 bands, one's a lie,
Oh, yeah. No, I didn't do that.
because all it would have been was
bands that
All
are
lies.
no more.
Belle Biv DeVoe.
what did he say?
I said Belle Biv DeVoe.
Oh, I would have loved to have seen Belle Biv DeVoe.
Bell. Biv.
No.
DeVoe.
But mostly all I've ever seen is Brandi Carlile and Alan Jackson
Oh,
and Aerosmith.
Yep.
That's my list. That's
Weird.
normal.
It's very Midwestern.
it
Is it?
Yeah, it seems very
Well.
Midwestern.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You tuned into the Wine Wars podcast. That's
Y'all.
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 Live from Wisconsin.
A little bit of Oklahoma coming out.
Right.
Speaking of y'all, let's talk about New Zealand.
Yeah, y'all.
Yeah.
Drink some wine.
I wish we could have had as a special guest Jermaine
Jermaine.
Oh,
Jermaine.
yeah. I would like to have him for a special guest.
all night long.
Of the Concords.
Does he even have a last name? Or just of the Concords?
Clement. Jermaine Clement.
Oh, that's right.
His name.
It's weird.
Phrasing.
I'm not crying. It's just been raining on my face.
So this is the karaoke episode of the show.
Yeah, this has been great.
Yeah. So New Zealand as a wine country and as a folk, what do they call themselves? Like comedy duo. Not super well known until the last 20, 30 years or so. The Flight of the Conchords being the folk comedy duo.
I thought you were talking about, and then I was also confused because they weren't around for the last 20, 30 years.
But New Zealand
But
has
New
been.
Zealand.
New
has
Zealand's been around for like 45 years as a, no, like long time. 45 million years.
all the
You
information you're
started
going to
saying
know is
45 is old.
gonna be
Scott, I swear to
factually
God,
inaccurate.
this podcast is over.
As a wine growing country, about 200 years or so, 200 years back was the first recorded planting of a vitis vinifera, or like a European vine, something from France, Italy, things like that.
What did they drink before that? Water?
I don't know. You'd have to,
beer. Foster's.
No, that's
That's
Australian.
Australian.
Imported.
Oh,
It was the import.
probably.
And then they kind of just fumbled around for a while till about the 60s or 70s, and then they started to get their footing right. And Sauvignon Blanc in particular has taken off like crazy since the 90s. And the exports to the U.S., we are their number one destination of their exports. 32% of all wine produced in New Zealand comes to the U.S., followed by the U.K., which gets 27%. And then the rest of the world breaks up the other 50.
So let's just think about that, though.
Bless you.
The United States are so much bigger than the
New
UK.
Zealand? Oh,
And
the
we're
UK,
at
yes.
32 and the UK is at 27. So I got to hand it to the UK for drinking like fish.
Mm-hmm.
Well done.
Yeah. New Zealand, hey, I don't know if you've all read your sheet yet in front of you. If not, don't. Guess
Oh,
how-
I savor every last word you write.
Well, I was going to
Scott.
have you all guess the population of the country, but you're all staring at it now.
I
when I
don't
asked you
know.
not to look at it.
I
not
can't
looking.
find
I do know
looking.
it. I do
Can't
know
find
it.
it.
Because I looked.
Remember when I said don't
population
look
of
at
New
it?
Zealand?
I can't, but I don't know it off the top of my freaking
No, that's what I'm
head.
saying.
It's
Just
a-
take
it's
a
a
guess.
guess.
It's a guess.
I'm going to guess
Price is Right
seven.
rules.
I'm going to guess it's under 1 million.
Whoa.
Less than 1 million people in the country, New Zealand.
Well, it's really expensive there.
And small and mountainous, and everyone's. Does this include the hobbits?
Sure.
With or without hobbits?
We'll include hobbits, but no dwarfs.
With
Cast and
hobbits.
crew of-
I would go under 1 million too, or should I just be contrary?
You could say 1,000,001.
Yeah.
Price is Right
rules.
me.
So
Yeah.
Anne wins. 4 million population.
Oh,
4 million.
4
that
million
actually
people.
sounds like a lot of people. Sounds significant.
Yeah. I mean, they're strewn about the 2 islands. They're an island nation. Their closest neighbors, Australia, is a 3-hour flight, so they're pretty well secluded. In the country, wine has started to pick up as a job, like a realistic job that's feasible over the last 20, 30 years.
so we could move there and
could.
make wine.
Actually, tourism has gone up a lot as well because of their wine. So
Not because of the hobbits.
both.
We have lots of good friends who've been there recently, wine friends, because they wanted to
So 1 in 5
drink wine. Good for them. We're very happy for you.
1 in 5 visitors to New Zealand will visit a winery.
Sure.
One in five?
visitors.
1 in 5 visitors.
What are the other 4 out of 5 doing?
Hobbits.
Hobbits. Doing the hobbits.
Rest of the country.
I didn't believe you on the 3-hour flight, so I Googled it. I think you're right.
He's only got a sheet full of facts. Only got a sheet full of facts.
Sorry, man.
So you were talking about those trust
Better pull out
games
the
earlier.
Google Maps.
Yeah, this is the part where you drop the gal.
Yeah,
and
this
she
is where I
falls and hits her
lean
head.
backwards off the table and Anne's just fact checking things I've said, and I fall down and crack my head. You know those trust games?
Yeah.
Oh,
Cross your arms and you fall backwards.
you're right. Your head's
Oh,
cracking.
sorry. I was fact checking.
Sorry.
That was on my phone.
It is 3 hours. Damn it!
4 million people. Please hold. Googling.
Well, it's because anytime that you see pictures of New Zealand, they don't show you cities. They show you like
The countryside.
countryside full of sheep.
It seems very like
And the eye.
craggly. Is that a word?
All you ever see is the eye.
No, but
Sauron?
it could be. It makes me think of like twigs, like jagged bare
And
twigs.
jagged mountains.
Yep,
and
they have mountain ranges.
Seems,
They have.
it seems like you twist an ankle in New
Oh,
Zealand.
you would for sure stub your
Yeah,
toes.
you would.
Oh yeah, my
you would
toes are
bend
always
it.
broken.
You'd be so broken.
Yeah, lots of different environments in New Zealand. They used to be mainly rainforest until a few hundred years ago, and then it started to change. And now you have mountain regions. You have the air coming in off of the oceans. So they actually are a very good position for slow ripening fruit. Meaning throughout the day they get lots of sunshine to help produce sugars. Then at night the temperature is cool to retain acidity. So
I read they had the longest growing season in the world.
I believe that.
I would believe that.
I read in your book of facts that Marlborough in particular is special because it has long days, cold nights, very dry autumns, and bright sunshine. Those are all the things that I want. So again,
I
if
know,
you want
that's
to get a
moving.
job
nice.
there,
It's almost
It's
also-
kind of cool, though. It's 59 degrees is their average temperature.
right
So that sounds...
oh, during the day,
during the growing season.
Yeah.
Sounds like Wisconsin in April.
Right. Well, which is why Wisconsin can't produce really good wine because in the summers we get too damn hot. So if you can maintain that consistent
Too
temperature,
hot.
it produces a consistent product. So why don't we start drinking some wine?
Sure.
Well, I already am actually.
Okay.
And we're starting with Kim Crawford, right?
Yeah.
Kim Crawford Sauv.
Yeah. And Kim Crawford is kind of the one wine that you typically see everywhere, so it's a pretty good baseline. And obviously the kind of the two big grapes that we see in New Zealand are Pinot Noir, but probably more specifically you see a lot of Sauv Blanc, which I think in the sheets I saw, the Scott Canada fact sheet is both, I think Pinot Noir and Sauv Blanc are about 76% of the varietal that you get out of New Zealand.
I believe that.
Of all wine produced, 79% of all wine is Sauv Blanc.
Yeah, I feel like the selection at the liquor store tonight was higher than 79% New Zealand Sauv Blanc.
I think it's like the
Like maybe
when you think
90%.
of New Zealand, you think of Sauv Blanc.
But
So-
Excuse me.
you know, if you
79% of all white is
Yeah.
Sauv Blanc. 59% of all wine is Sauv Blanc. Yeah, but in the U.S., that's the main thing you're going to get.
yeah.
And Kim Crawford saw this opening for a unoaked Sauv Blanc just a nice crisp wine. And they're really a pretty young business. They started in 1996, and then
Millennials.
Auckland.
Auckland.
Yeah.
Like a bird.
So I don't know if that's necessarily in Marlborough.
You're really good at that.
Excellent, honey.
Just say Marlboro.
You got to roll the R.
Or just kind of mash it.
Yes.
Mash it up.
But definitely the grapes that we're getting from this are from that area. And so they wanted to produce just a really nice, crisp Sauv Blanc. And they started to import it to the United States. And within 3 years, they were listed in Wine Spectator's top 100 wines. Wow. So probably why you see it so regularly in pretty much any wine store you go to, including the Costco's and the basic. You can find this wine pretty much
you see
anywhere.
this on the table at any party you show up at. Somebody's grabbed a Kim Crawford Sauv Blanc.
It's on tons of restaurant wine lists, and the pricing on it varies pretty dramatically. It seems like you can get it from $11.99 as a good buy to $16.99.
Yeah, that's probably the range.
I feel like this wine is just like a safe bet. Like you can't go wrong with it.
Sauv Blanc from New Zealand
It's a
is some of the
crowd pleaser.
most consistent quality wine that you can get out there for the money.
So
$16.99 is too much, though.
yeah.
Yeah, do you know how much you actually paid for this one?
I think I got this feeling like it was a fairly good deal at $13.99. 'Cause I don't think I see it for much less than that. And I have bought it for $15.99. So this is a 2016 we're drinking.
If you were buying it in bulk for, say, a wedding,
Sure.
Yeah.
would a retailer cut you a deal kind of thing?
You would hope so.
Yeah.
But it's a very, very pleasant wine. I mean,
This one's nice because, like, we had it with dinner, right? Mm-hmm. But, like, I think you can, it holds its own, just, like, it's one of those, what I'd like to call a book club wine because you can enjoy it without food.
I had a friend over this week, and we made a little simple Indian dish, like a curry thing, and opened a bottle of this. And it was so perfect on a, like, sunny Thursday afternoon post work.
That'll work really well. High acid, crisp,
Yeah.
fruity, floral. Yeah.
And I've enjoyed it tonight, but this is just a little spoiler alert. But we have another Sauv Blanc coming up that has made this. Just pointed out that I like that one a little better, and so now I'm like seeing this in a more critical way.
yeah.
This particular one.
You probably always grab this and say this is a safe Sauv Blanc, and it's a good
Yeah.
representation of a Sauv Blanc, I think.
It'd be great at the wedding.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
but definitely I'm happy to move on if we want to just talk about the Oyster Bay.
Well,
Well-
the reason we we have two Sauv Blancs and two Pinot Noirs so that you can compare from Marlborough. This is the profile that you're going to get from that region. So yeah, why don't we take the other and then we can actually just talk about the comparison between the two.
I kind of wish I'd had them in two glasses
Yeah.
instead of one after another.
Have them right next to each other.
So I have to remember that flavor.
Why don't you pour one into his and one into yours?
Oh, that's
Mine's
a good
already
call.
gone.
We're sharing.
They're gone.
Okay, so Oyster Bay and Anne's,
Throw me some more of that.
Kim Crawford,
Kim Crawford.
and Jason's. Oh, this is fun. This is a Wine Wars original. Okay, so Oyster Bay, first of all, has some very poetic writing on their website, including their tagline, "Sometimes the world really is your oyster."
Oh. This has a more delicate nose, but not that it's weak.
Right. It's
know?
a little more subtle. Mm-hmm. I agree with that.
Georgia.
And if you were to compare them in terms of appearance, they're like identical. The Oyster Bay might be a little bit more pale, but they look
Which goes along with
almost
its
identical.
delicacy. Also, another quote from their website. "We don't see sustainability as something you do. It's something you are."
Yeah, that's a nice smelling wine.
Okay? So it's something you are.
Yeah.
I feel like it's
Okay.
got more clarity than the other one, too.
Yeah, the Oyster Bay is clear.
It's like a diamond, and the other
crisper.
one's...
Everything's about it's clearer and crisper.
Yeah.
And nose-wise, it's
Yep.
crisper, clearer.
It is a little softer. So this was $12. You can get all, and again, Oyster Bay is another one you see all the time at a grocery store, at restaurants, whatever. You're going to find that, and that's why I said, Sauvignon Blanc from New Zealand, you're going to get good quality stuff all the time. So going back to your comment that they sustainability is, or who you are. New Zealand as a country is very heavily invested in that. They had a goal in 2007. They had a goal by 2012 to have all wines produced sustainably, and they got to 94% on that goal. So they're trying to get
all of New Zealand?
All New Zealand wine, 94% is produced sustainably.
Oh my God, I really want to go there.
That's really awesome.
The Kim Crawford is a sharper, I would say, and then the Oyster Bay's got it's a rounder, like mouthfeel to it.
And I would go like the opposite.
Acid. Really?
Yeah, for me, I'm getting more acidity and filling my mouth more with the Oyster Bay, and with the Kim Crawford, it's like a softer, like I could really chug a lot of that wine really easily.
I think I have to go Team Amy on that.
I would agree. I think the Oyster Bay both have like a grassy undertones to it, but the Oyster Bay is a little more like, this is like, we're starting to get really pretentious and douchey here, but fresh cut grass.
Sure.
Just a hot summer day, you just cut the grass, and that's what you get there.
They're
and
almost,
like dandelions.
The Kim Crawford, I don't. It doesn't taste oaked, but it does taste like vanilla and rounded. Is that what you were saying on this one?
No, opposite.
Oh,
did you switch the glasses?
there's a little bit vanilla or something, and sweet. Almost just a tiny bit sweet.
Is the Kim Crawford oaked?
No.
It's not.
Okay.
But the Oyster Bay is so acidic.
Yeah.
It almost dances.
Yeah. It gets the juices flowing. So if I had the option, let's say I was doing a cocktail hour at a wedding and I wasn't really going to be having a whole lot of food, I'd probably go for the Kim Crawford because it's a little bit softer. Because the Oyster Bay makes my mouth water and then I want food.
Yeah.
So if you're serving hors d'oeuvres, then you could do the Oyster Bay or having it with a meal.
Both would be good either way. Like I think what you were saying about the consistency is there. They're very similar. This is fun to taste them side by side because I otherwise, if I did this weeks apart, would not be able to remember the difference. Yeah. I mean, but I'm kind of an Oyster Bay fan because I like that acidic.
This one I think I've had 3 times in the past 5 weeks.
The Oyster Bay?
Yeah.
It's funny.
Kind of I like it a lot. And if push came to shove, I would drink it without food. In fact, I probably
push came to shove.
Yeah.
Wow, it sounds like a hard thing to
it's really nice of you to be, flexible like that. If push came to shove, I'd
just drink it.
I would just drink it without food.
I think I like the Oyster Bay better.
I think we're all agreeing on that, right?
Yeah.
And for the price, it's less money. Probably.
Oh, well then for sure.
Oh, yeah.
And, the Oyster Bay is another one of those things that you can find that wine pretty much
all
anywhere.
The time, yeah.
So they're both safe.
Yeah. Total winners.
I wasn't able to find a ton about the winery itself, but they did talk about the fact that super long days and how the nights get so cold, and then the soil is so rocky that I guess people make jokes about like quote unquote soil, like how can this possibly be soil? It's just a big field full of rocks that grapes grow out of.
Oh, wow.
That's the best soil for it.
But I guess, the sun warms it all day long. It's very cold at night, but then there is this slow release of heat from the rocks into the vines, which is why they have this very long growing season and ability to mature grapes in this way. So
I don't know why I'm so different than you guys on this wine.
You're right? Whatever you think is right.
I almost wonder if it's like, is it temperature?
I didn't graduate from the WESET with honors. Distinction, whatever. I didn't.
It's like our bodies, they're all physiologically not the same. So maybe you just taste things
I'm not real good at tasting
Wine
notes.
tasting.
Oh, can we just Wine Wars recommend a Netflix?
Do it.
We should do it.
The Dana Carvey special. Watch it so you can keep up with our jokes.
Yeah. All of our inside jokes.
All of my jokes are just either Wayne's World or Dana
They're
Carvey
just
stand-up.
recycled Dana Carvey jokes. So
I love him
copyright
so much.
Dana
I just
Carvey.
want to like hug him and just like,
It's
into his
his
neck.
what's it called? White male.
Single white,
Single white.
No, he's not single.
She's not
Straight
single.
white.
though.
Married with
Straight
kids.
white male.
straight white male, 50.
60.
60.
55. Split the
Something
difference.
about there.
Something. But either way, it's the only Dana Carvey special on Netflix, right? Because
So
he's been out of the loop for a
funny.
while.
And stay for the end part about De Niro, the long De Niro impression.
Yeah.
yeah.
Wait, Pacino.
Pacino.
Sorry, Pacino.
It was a Robert.
And I
Might
said
be.
yes.
Might be.
Now I'm going to start fact checking you,
Oh,
Ann.
Al Pacino. Never mind.
I got it.
Can you just edit out that I fucked up the Al Pacino, Robert De Niro?
Yeah, can you fix that in post?
Fix it in
No,
post.
he's not going to fucking fix it in post. Look at him.
I didn't hear the
He
problem.
just wants
I
us
wasn't-
to
I mean,
sit-
it's young
sit.
dad, young dad's son, Godfather
of
2
teenagers.
references here. Come on.
Yeah. Okay.
Cool.
So, in general, let's talk like bigger picture. New Zealand Sauv Blanc. It's a special thing. We're lucky it's a thing.
Yeah, and like I said, they're still a very young wine country when you think of France, Italy, Spain, Germany,
Slovenia.
like the old world. They've been
Eastern
doing
Europe,
it for
Greece.
thousands of years,
Right.
and they've gotten to a groove, and they stick to that groove usually. And here with New World countries such as New Zealand, the U.S., South Africa, they're still experimenting with what works for them. Because Sauv Blanc wasn't so proliferate. What's the word I'm looking for?
Prolific?
Prolific in planting until 30, 40 years ago. And now we're starting to see the fruits of their labor, pun intended. And they're experimenting with other grapes that way. So like the next grape variety we'll go to, Pinot Noir, they've been, messing with that as well. They used to have Cabernet Sauvignon that didn't do so great, so they put Merlot in instead, and they're just kind of trying to figure themselves out because they're a very young wine country.
And they're pretty smart because they figured out how to import to the United States.
I gotta say, they're really crushing it with the Sauv Blancs.
Between that and Lord of the Rings, like, why wouldn't we all flock to that country?
Well, let me ask you this, Anne. If you wanted to listen to Lord of the Rings on audiobook, how would you do that?
Well, geez, Scott, it's a great question. Let me think about it for a second. So, if I were to listen to a great book, is what you're saying, but
Right.
I'm not going to sit around and read a book. I'm
No,
gonna
Lord of the
wanna
Rings is a very thick book.
very, very thick.
Well,
That's what she said.
You commute a lot, so
I do
You don't
commute.
have time to just like leisurely read
So it'd be
pages
better-
of a novel.
Right.
It's like you guys only do things because you get paid.
Let's say there was a service called Audible.
Ooh, tell me more.
Well, I'm just wondering if you went to a website called audibletrial.com/winewars, you might be
audibletrial.com/winewars.
you might be able to download that book for free and get a month trying that service out for free. I wonder if that was
Free.
a thing.
And they even let you keep your first book that you pick.
Yeah,
I
if you choose to not subscribe anymore, you get to keep that book. But Lord of the Rings is a trilogy, so you're going to want to get the other two books.
Right.
But,
right.
But no shit here. I have had an Audible subscription for like 5 years driving around the planet Earth. And my favorite function is that you can listen to a book on 1.5 speed or 2 speed, and you can blow through some books fast.
Yeah.
Sometimes it sounds a little funny.
But
Sometimes
the
it's awesome.
information gets in your cranium. I bet, especially with nonfiction.
Yeah. Yeah, and I listen
Like, I
to a
just
lot
want
of
to learn this
business
shit.
books.
Teach me Evernote.
Jason listened to like a Harvard book on statistics and he comes home and wants to talk to me about it. And all I can say to him is, well, I've been listening to my Sirius XM New Wave radio and I can tell you a lot about soft cell,
She does.
Tainted Love, and also controversially,
We can put each
their
other to sleep
song,
so fast.
Sex
Sex Dwarf.
Dwarf. I love that. I love that song so much.
It's a good song.
This is why we're friends and spectators.
But anywho,
Yeah, if you haven't figured it out by now,
Jason's
listener.
smarter.
Yeah.
Audible.
Yeah.
Audible, Scott.
We
That's
are-
what I would do.
Yeah, we're now sponsored by Audible. So if you want to get an audiobook, go to audibletrial.com/winewars and you get one free book and you get a month to listen to that for free. And it helps out the show.
Woo. Thank you.
/Wine Wars.
Thanks, team.
Yeah.
Thanks, everyone.
/Wine Wars.
Okay.
I don't think you have to say /
Well, there is a backslash. And there is a
Whoever does
/
Hang on.
You know what, babe? My narrator, Nick, he says /
Yeah,
Does
but
he
when you
he says it really hot.
but when
though.
you type,
He does say
you
it
just
really
naturally
hot.
do
Says
the
it
/.
In the year 2017, yes. But back in the day, when
Well-
you had to spell out HTTP.
Right. We no longer do the www dot.
You can say /, but I think / sounds a lot classier.
Back-
Do we
Backslash
sound
works.
old in general?
/ is opposite.
I understand it's opposite.
I feel like I sound old, and I feel like I look old.
I also
No.
feel like I feel old.
No.
Sometimes my knees don't
Drink
work.
more wine. You're fine.
I just lube that shit up with some wine.
That's right. And you know what the best wine for that is? Pinot Noir from New Zealand, at least tonight. Am I right?
Okay,
What's
let's
a-
pour it.
What's our
pour
next-
it.
what's our
Put
next
it
bottle?
in me.
So the first one, Seaside
Put it in
Cellars.
me now.
Seaside Cellars. So unfortunately, I couldn't find a whole lot about the producer. So maybe I'll give you a little bit more facts about New Zealand wine production. What do you say?
Please.
So New Zealand as a
I
country,
can't get enough.
right? And you can fact check everything I'm saying if you want.
Dude, this is fake.
I would, but I got distracted by Facebook.
Yeah.
New Zealand as a country doesn't have designated wine regions. So we talk about geographic indications. So Napa, Sonoma, Paso Robles. Those are all designated by an organization saying these are the land designations by those names. New Zealand doesn't have that yet. So
It's because the government's not in their face, man.
right. Well,
All up in their grill.
it's actually wine producers tend to like that because then you get the clout associated
Right.
with it, right?
Oh, they're
And
like,
especially the earlier you are to the game, probably
Right.
the better your level of distinction becomes.
like I've been government approved since
Yeah.
1998.
Right.
I've got an idea.
What's
We
your
start a winery in New Zealand, and then we start this organization, and then we take over the New Zealand wine market.
Well, you're in luck
This is
because
some big talk from Wisconsin.
Yeah, that sounds like a lot of work, actually. Forget it.
there was a amendment put forth into their parliament in November of 2015, and they actually are looking to standardize things soon.
Shit, we missed
you
it.
better get in there fast.
Do we know
I
anybody in
recommend
New
a cracker
Zealand?
for a palate cleanser after that Sauvignon Blanc acidity.
That is a pretty... bold-
Everyone chew into the mics as loud as possible, please.
Okay, that's how if we need to. But you know what? I think it adds a little credibility.
That you're chewing? Are you at the point now where you can laugh about that time that you burned your hair on the candle when you were checking mics?
No,
Or is it too soon?
I am.
too soon. My short and curlies got shorter and curlier.
Your hair looks fine,
I
dude.
think it looks nice.
It does.
It smells good too.
You're probably burning your beard.
It was the top of
It
his
was
head.
definitely. It's
saw that.
literally the probably 100 hairs right at my scalp line. They're all like,
So Seaside Cellars, as you would expect by the title and the label, it's along the seaside where they sell seashore.
hold on,
Damn it.
fact-
Spectator sells seashells by the seashore sellers.
We're gonna need a de-esser on this mix.
I think that's the quietest this show has ever been, ever.
The look on Anne's face is like, what the fuck is a de-esser?
I don't know what that is.
It takes the
It takes the sibilance away.
right.
Oh,
It's a magic button.
syphilis.
Yeah.
Syphilis.
You know what's frustrating is when you meet those people that say the S all fucked up and you just like want to put a filter like that over their head.
DS their face.
Yeah. Just
See how I
See,
used it
you already got
honey?
it, babe.
I used it as a
De-ess their
verb.
face.
they do that crap.
Sometimes it's really cute though when people talk like that. I think it's adorable. I'm gonna make out with their face.
Was it like talking with a lisp or do you mean like that? Like talking like
Like
parcel tongue?
Like
Parcel tongue is
parcel tongue.
awesome. I totally make out with that face.
Okay. Good to know.
What?
I don't know how
Off
we got
the
here.
rails. Off the rails.
Oh, she sells Seaside Cellars by the seashore.
Right.
That's really difficult to do. So Pinot Noir in New Zealand, red wine accounts for 21% of all wine produced in the country. Of that, Pinot Noir is 72% of the red wine. So it's their main output for red. The next most produced wine would be Chardonnay, but we didn't get any of those tonight. We're focusing on their top 2 of each category. So again, the climate environment for Pinot Noir in New Zealand is very
so good.
similar to Burgundy. So if you take the latitude, is that north-south or is that longitude?
Longitude goes across.
Yeah, so latitude. The latitude north-south, like where Burgundy is, north of the equator, Marlborough is essentially the same south of the equator.
Just the opposite on the
South.
southern
Right.
hemisphere.
So you have very similar climate. You get lots of cold air coming in off the seaside over at night, so it helps that long growing season. And the Pinot Noir being a very fickle grape, that's a really good environment for it to grow in.
I'm really picky and I like things done a certain way. My name's Pinot Noir.
Very.
This right when we opened this one up initially, this is a 2014 Pinot. I thought this was a spectacular Pinot, and it is still
Still holding up.
an hour later.
Which one is this? Is the
This is
better
the-
half?
Seaside
Oh,
Cellars.
this one. Okay.
Spectator sells
We've talked about
Seaside
it
Cellars by the
several
seashore.
times. We've mentioned that. Yes.
So here's the question. You say this one's from 2014. How long does a Pinot Noir keep? Like,
It can, so there are Pinots. I'm sorry, give me one second.
Probably
Just
would
salivating.
depend
It
on
is-
the amount of tannin.
There's so much spit in my face.
And this seems pretty high. I mean,
Acid?
medium high acid,
For sure.
medium high tannin.
Yeah, the tannin's not too aggressive, but it's there. But it's pretty low alcohol. It's 12.5.
okay, so for the people who didn't take the fancy test,
So to age wine, and you need to have something to protect it against oxidation, which would be high alcohol can do that. High acid can do that. So like you can have really, really old Rieslings that are pretty low in alcohol, but because they were so high in acid, they make it,
Maintain.
right? They maintain that. With red wine, you also have the tannin that over time changes in flavor and precipitates into the wine. So that's why sometimes when you drink a really, really old red wine, you see the little
the sediment.
sediment that got thrown in the bottle. But that also means that the flavors mellowed out. It's a lot easier to drink. That's why new Barolo is tough to drink. But if you drink a 5, 10, not even 5, 10, 20, 30-year-old Barolo, you can get into it.
Yeah.
And the
lot
other
easier to drink.
thing that's interesting about these, if you notice, all 4 of these wines are all screw tops. So that's something that New Zealand does a lot more is the screw top method.
Yep.
And
sorry.
But by doing the screw top method, you're going to get a lot less air into the wine. So it's probably going to change a lot less over time.
Yeah, and these aren't really built, at least this one isn't necessarily built to age a long time, especially with the lower alcohol level. But
And I think
you don't need it to.
no, and for the price point and what these wines are meant to do, especially imported to American face holes.
Right. We want
this is
the
meant to be
wine now.
drunk now. Yeah.
Okay, so here's another question. Can you talk to me about the difference? Just give me like a quick refresher course on the difference between tannin and what was the other term you're throwing around?
Acidity.
Yeah, like how do I know what the difference between the two things
So if
is?
you drink the wine, swish it around your
I'm
mouth
gonna
there.
swish it.
And if here's a quick tasting. If you just put it in your mouth and add a little air to your mouth, like swirl it around, add a little air, and you can feel it on different parts of your tongue. So tannin you'll feel up the center of your tongue, and alcohol you should feel at the back
Yeah, after you swallow.
after you. Yeah.
So what's at the front underneath the tip of my tongue?
That's acidity.
Okay.
If your mouth starts watering, that's the acidity.
Okay.
And at the back of your mouth, that's called the uvula.
Yeah.
That's just a fun fact.
Just a fun fact.
Everybody
Well,
has
the
a uvula.
tannin
Hanging
is what
ball.
what does to your mouth what a really over steeped black tea does, where it like it dries your mouth out, like pulls all the moisture out of your mouth.
Okay.
And then you refill with moisture. That's what tannin
the
does.
green tea, the black tea,
But think of
that
young,
real astringent thing that is totally drying
Dries
out
your
your mouth
mouth
out. And
young Italian wines have that hardcore Italian tannin.
Right,
It just
especially the Barolos
strips your
and-
face.
Brunellos, things like that.
That's why they need time to mellow out because they're
Right.
a punk ass teenager
right?
who you
Right.
don't want to deal with.
I don't.
They got a lot of attitude right up front.
Right.
Yeah, you
You're
just
like,
need to-
no, I'm
you
going
just
to
need
like
to
go
chill
put
out,
you in
bro.
a cellar for 10 years and then we'll talk. Am I right?
Yeah, no, that's exactly it, I think.
So that's why wines like this that are produced in this style I think, would be great for a wedding. Because you can,
Yes.
if you're standing around, I don't know if the wedding's indoors, outdoors, or whatever, but if it's an outdoor wedding, something like this Pinot Noir and something like the Oyster Bay or even the Kim Crawford Sauvignon Blanc has a lot of that high acidity, low alcohol, so your guests aren't going to get trashed. It's going to cause them to salivate, so they want to eat more food and they fill their bellies, have a great time.
Sober up.
And it's-
Nobody gets drunk, makes a stupid speech. It's
Taste-
your
we haven't
day.
even- and we haven't even really talked.
You're the bride.
Yeah, we haven't
even talked about like the flavor profile or
Oh, it's great.
But what I
all you
noticed
need
right
to
off
know.
the bat is, actually, how much was this?
this is $12.
Yeah, this
$12.99.
This does not taste like a cheap,
It-
inexpensive wine,
This
even a
is-
little bit.
Honestly, the best Pinot I've had at this price point ever.
Yeah.
I
you
would-
cannot find a Pinot for
I would have
13
guessed
bucks.
like close to 20.
If-
maybe like 18?
If somebody poured me this and said it was a $25 Pinot, I'd have been like, yeah, sure.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, this is pretty special.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's close to like a Willamette, Oregon Pinot.
Sure.
It's got kind of that.
Not
I don't know
as
if it's
Northwoodsy,
skunky.
not as skunky, but it's under
Yeah.
there. But being that you get the seaside breeze, you probably get a lot of those, and the soil too, right? It's very craggly, so you get some minerality in it.
All of the
High
broken down
mineral.
crustaceans in the soil.
And the fruit is tart cherry.
tart cherry, and not overly fruity by any stretch of the imagination. It's actually tartar. But it's kind of what you.
Well,
at least
they
what
keep
I want.
talking about goddamn gooseberries all over the place. I don't know what that is.
We're gonna have to do an episode, get some gooseberries.
I think that's a thing that you buy at a farmer's market when it's in season for 2 weeks in the summer.
I don't know about gooseberries, but it tastes like a tart cherry to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say like raspberry even.
Yeah.
And then I think when we first poured this, I exclaimed, what did I say? Cookie dough.
Yeah.
There's like a baking
What is
spice
that about?
or cinnamon or something in that
Well,
profile.
I was getting kind of more of a like.
probably from
there's some
oak.
herb thing going.
Like a mint.
Maybe.
Not mint. Mint?
Are you getting
on
vanilla?
crack? Is it crack cocaine?
That's what it is. Yeah. It smells like my
Well, your
crack.
wine glass is too
I
small.
smell your crack.
I smell your crack. I see your crack. I raise you. Crack.
Crack.
Killed Anne. Got her.
Maybe even like
I love a crack joke.
a good crack joke. Cracks you up.
I like a crack joke.
Crack her up.
Crack it up, crack it in.
Let Anne begin. Sorry, everybody.
Oh, no.
And even maybe like a red rope licorice
Yeah.
type of flavor.
Yeah.
Which is that?
Which
Do
call
not
that to the
eat
cherry.
But you know what?
rope licorice.
I would always associate red rope licorice with a cheap ass
Wayne's Road?
sugar filled wine.
Yeah, but not
And
this.
This is not that.
This is very nice.
This is like
And-
upscale French boutique red licorice.
This-
if it
I'm
has
going-
it at all.
Yes, I'm going to recommend this to anyone having a wedding
Mm-hmm.
because it's so affordable, and this would feel like a high class wine to
Mm-hmm.
serve.
Yeah, it's like totally approachable. It's like, yeah.
Yeah,
The
you're not
other
gonna put
thing-
it. You're not gonna put anyone off with this
And
one.
you could do it with chicken, I assume. You could do it with salmon, whitefish, vegetarian. Probably could hold up to a heartier meat.
like a kebab or something.
Pinots can stretch further than other wines.
Very versatile wine.
Yeah.
So if you don't
Especially
know
if
what
you're-
to, yeah,
Especially if you're going in a seafoody direction, a lighter direction,
Mm-hmm.
it can definitely go that way.
Yeah, and we were kind of talking earlier, like, hey, if you're going to a party, grab the Kim Crawford or the Oyster Bay. Same thing with a Pinot, too. You can grab that. It's very versatile.
But you normally have to pay more to get a good one.
The other thing
Not
that's
here.
classy about this wine is the label is gorgeous. It's a super. It's got like a lighthouse, and it's the graphic design is very good on it.
It's lovely. It is.
And it only says New Zealand on it, so you would expect that you're getting very little information from the front of the wine, but it does say it's from the Marlborough region on the back.
Say Marlborough again?
And
I can't.
Marlborough is that there's two islands. If you picture, they're like vertically oriented. There's a southern island and a northern island. So Marlborough is the northern tip of the southern island.
Right, northeastern tip. That's
Yeah.
the best.
Yeah.
That's the best part of the tip.
Northeast of the southern.
I love the tip.
The whole tip.
And nothing but the tip.
The whole tip or the northern segment of the tip.
I like the whole
I don't
island.
think she knows what we're doing here.
She likes the
So
entire
Amy likes
island.
the whole island.
She's not going to be tippist.
She doesn't like to be teased with the northern tip.
Right.
I mean, I like the tip, but I like the whole island, so the tip is part of the island.
You want
Sure.
more than just the tip.
Like, I'll take the tip, but I like the whole island.
But I'll take just a little more as well.
I'll just take all of it.
I'll take the whole thing. Thanks. Thanks,
All right.
everyone.
Cool.
Thank you
Island joke.
very much.
Is it an island joke?
Yeah, it's an island joke.
Yeah.
Oh, it's not a peninsula.
You know,
joke.
actually,
It has to be an island
Penis.
joke because I'm a classy bitch and it couldn't be anything
is it
other
just
than that.
me, or
Penis
does
you
New
look at.
Zealand kind of look like Italy because it's shaped like a boot?
It's like an upside down Italy.
It is.
Yeah,
It's very much like an upside down reverse Italy.
really, really cute.
It's a mirror image.
I love it.
It does
looks
look like
a
it broke off at some point.
Kinky
So,
boot.
oh look, here, it's Italy. If you just turn it
Faux show.
Mm-hmm.
2
Sure.
clicks to the left. Awesome.
Let's move on to Pinot number deux.
All right.
4.
So,
Okay, Seaside
Yeah,
Cellar.
we're drinking a lot here tonight. kids.
Spectator by the seaside.
and unlike the episode where we did port, like I don't think we're getting trashed on this
Low
one.
alcohol.
Low alcohol.
Yeah.
I definitely am.
Oh,
You can tell by her
Good
laughing
job.
for 45 minutes.
That was a hilarious joke.
it was
all
a funny
about-
joke.
What
all
was the
about
joke
crack.
again?
I have no
I do
idea.
know.
It was about,
I don't know.
I think about cracks.
Craigs!
Oh, I wish I had like a gif of you doing that.
Good stuff.
Everyone does.
All right.
Good
So
stuff.
this one is a 2015 wine called The Better Half. This is also a Pinot Noir from the Marlborough region.
Marlborough.
Marlborough. Looks like
No.
this one was...
You guys got this wrong.
Okay, I'm going to tell you the price after we
Marlborough.
drink it.
Band maintain.
And
Did I do it?
so one fun little
a
thing that
no.
I learned is that for dinner tonight, we could talk about our dinner that we had.
Sure.
We made flatbread pizzas from Hello Fresh.
Hello.
Hello.
Fresh.
They were delicious, but then I go...
Hello, Fresh.
I just keep moving the microphone away from her face, and she gets closer and louder.
You always wanted to
and
talk into the
closer
mic.
For
and
some
louder.
reason, when you shout, you lean
No.
in.
No,
She-
I know, you know what
and
it
has-
is. No.
You know when you watch like
She
a
did
great
a British
singer.
accent. You gotta cut her some slack. Anytime she does a British accent, it always gets like 2.5%
10 decibels
louder. Or yeah,
I think what you should do is
2.5 times.
not alter that audio at all in the thing, just so everybody knows what it sounds like when she
Shouts directly into the mic.
cuts directly into the microphone.
And-
Gets close as possible.
And who's your favorite boy wizard?
Harry Potter.
Hope you're having fun, Kayleen.
So we're looking for a new host for the Wine Wars podcast.
Granger.
Who was the Harry Potter character who like got really hot and when he grew up?
Snape.
He had dark hair, not Harry Potter.
Hold on.
Alan Rickman.
No, well, he's hot.
No, Cedric.
No,
Oh.
wrong one.
But
you're
he
talking-
got super hot. You can't argue that.
He did get really hot, but
it was not
You're-
little Ron Weasley.
no.
You're thinking of the kid that had the gillyweed?
Yeah.
Oh,
Is that who you're thinking of?
Yes. And his last name has a crack in it.
His last name has a crack in it.
Yeah.
What's his name?
Never
Longbottom. Longbottom. That's hilarious.
I know. It's a great last name.
That's another crack joke.
All right. So maybe we can
I am dying.
All right.
Moving on.
Okay. So moving on because we're burning tape. All right. We have a 2015 Pinot Noir from Marlborough. And this one is called The Better Half. And it's because obviously, like, the man was married to a fantastic lady winemaker and he decided to have a little friendly competition. And so now we have The Better Half making his wine.
Who's the genius behind The Better Half?
The man, clearly.
The dude.
The man.
Dude, yeah.
Yeah. But they have a vineyard dog.
Oh.
So, I can kind of
They sound adorable.
overlook some things. Yeah. And she's been like crushing it for 10 years.
Literally.
Yeah. She's,
Wine joke.
can't think of her name off the top of my head, but,
Hashtag wine joke.
they have it on the bottle for me instead. His wife is named Jules Taylor. And she has been a well-known winemaker in the area for a long-ass time.
You want to shout her name in an English accent?
Jules Taylor.
And so her husband, George Elworthy, decided to dust off his winemaking hat and create a new range of wines. And this is one of them. So
This is also very good. This is a darker wine, though.
and I watched a video on the winery's website, and that's where I found out that they had a little black lab winery dog. But they were eating flatbread pizza with their wine.
That's what we did.
That's what we did.
Yeah. So I kind of thought, it was meant to be that we had that for dinner tonight with this wine.
This wine has a fantastic nose.
Less acidity. Little easier to drink.
This is wonderful.
They're both beautiful. This one is way heavier mouthfeel.
Heavier, yeah.
And it's darker fruit.
Yeah, I think it's meant to be enjoyed with food a lot more, because of the complexity to it.
Portobello mushroom.
Which, when you think about foods that are served at a wedding, you don't think of like super heavy stuff that's like overwhelming.
I know she's having a summer wedding on the shores of Lake Superior.
Oh,
That sounds lovely. Are we invited?
Live
Now?
yeah, no pressure or anything.
episode live from Kayleen's wedding.
Yeah, right. But this would be beautiful.
Also very good.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, so you could do the Seaside Cellars like during appetizers and like people are mingling.
Yep.
But then when the meal is served, pour the better half.
So when
And
we were having
that's a good bottle name for a wedding, actually. The better half.
It's an adorable story.
It's a
about
conversation starter.
marriage.
Yeah.
Marriage.
Marriage.
When we were eating our flatbread, I was so blown away by this Spectator by the Seashore Cellars one. But right now, in this moment, for who I am and what I'm about, that this one is really killing me.
Wonderful. I actually kind of like the Seaside Cellars one better. But it's a personal preference here because these are super good.
We are like, little shades of differences because this is everything we've had tonight has been winning.
And I would say any of these wines at the table tonight, I would drink again in a heartbeat.
Oh yeah.
And actually, the Oyster Bay Sauvignon Blanc,
Drink it all the time.
I'd drink it all the time.
At great price points.
So yeah, this is $18.99, so a little bit pricier.
Oh, this one is more.
But not breaking the bank.
Especially for a Pinot Noir.
Right. For New Zealand, you rarely will go above like $35. You really can't. I mean, I'm sure you can find it, but typically you're going to be in the 10 to 20. I'm
sure people don't have a problem charging that. It's just,
But the just in terms of the available products for you, you're typically going to be in the 10 to 20 range.
I don't think we've had a podcast where everything's been this affordable and this good.
But I feel like I have learned this enormous, big, important fact tonight, which is I already knew I love Pinot Noir, but I just think of it in my head like you can't get a good one unless you spend $25 or more. And that is not accurate.
Right.
You go to New Zealand to get your Pinot Noirs
Under
for
20.
less than 25.
Yeah, because even Oregon, you're probably going to be 20, 25.
Yeah, and I've also always felt like, well, that's okay because Oregon has really good Pinot Noir. It's hard to grow. It's special. You're going to pay more. I mean, if you're in Burgundy, you're going to pay a lot more. So go for your Russian River Valley or your Willamette Valley.
What's weird though
But
is
this is like a little secret. I didn't really know the loophole here.
yeah, and even Oregon Pinot Noir is $20. Oregon Pinot Noir is not fabulous. Like you kind of have to go.
You have to go
25.
up.
Yeah, $25 to $30 for a sparkling
Something equivalent of this.
Yeah.
Yep.
But what it's coming down to is that really specific temperature, growing climate, with the cool nights and the intense sunshine all day long for really long growing
Sounds like a
seasons.
Meatloaf song.
It sounds like
Cool nights, intense sunshine.
the day's out all day.
I want to know right now before I drink any more Pinot.
The day is out all day. Was that your lyric,
Yeah.
babe?
It's deep. It's like, what does that even mean?
I don't.
See that songwriting.
How much Pinot did he have before he wrote that?
The day's out all day
lyric.
And the night's out most of the night
until the day.
until the day.
Oh,
Until the crack of day.
I'm sorry,
There it is.
listeners. We had so much New Zealand
So the problem
wine.
here with tonight was that there was an extra bottle.
Yeah, we had 4. That's what happened.
But for good reason. I think
Yeah.
we're the better
Was
for
it
it.
really a problem?
Kim Crawford made a surprise appearance. No one saw it coming, but it's because she was in the refrigerator. And we were making dinner and we thought, what should we start with? Well, we're just cooking.
But
And it was the perfect choice.
but the Kim Crawford is the standard by which people know.
yeah.
So you should.
I'm not
you should,
arguing
you should,
that with you.
got to have that in the portfolio here.
Yep. I don't know. I feel like listeners, my advice is just drink your New Zealands.
Yep.
Get on it.
Set up a party like this yourself. It $50 for 4 bottles of wine, and you get some really good quality stuff.
I am noticing that wine shops organize themselves by region now rather than grape.
Which I love.
I do too. And so this means walk into your local wine shop and walk over to the New Zealand section.
Which usually is in the back or hidden away somewhere.
It is. It's usually
Sometimes
small
in a
and-
basement somewhere.
I know. I
It'll be
kind of
next
feel
to
like they
Australia.
get the short end of the stick because they're the new kid. You know, but they're the new kid and go make friends.
Go make friends.
Yeah.
That's really what this is all about at the end of the day. Okay. Is there anything more that folks need to share and get off their chest? Anything?
I'll just say if anyone is interested in learning more nerd wine facts, New Zealand, again, has a very, very good website on wine, much akin to the Austrian website, but this one's in English. Go to nzwine.com. No promo code Wine Wars on that. Just nzwine.com.
Nerd alert.
Unless, of course, ncwine.com wants to sponsor the Wine Wars podcast, which we forward
Jason,
slash.
It's like people just do things because they get paid.
And that's really sad.
It's really sad.
But again, this is a great website. The country is very proud of the wine they produce, and they want
They
to.
should be. This
and-
is ballin'.
They want to promote that to the world and show that they got the goods. So
This
Thanks,
wine
New Zealand.
be ballin'.
This wine
Amy said it first.
be ballin'. Hashtag this wine be ballin'. Hashtag this wine be crushing it.
It is. They are crushing it so hard, and I'm
Literally.
I'm
Do
really.
you see my little air quotes, everybody?
Yeah, I'm really
Crushing it.
excited to see what the experimental winemakers of New Zealand are coming up with because I mean, and we love Steve's, but they basically had Pinot Noir and Sauvignon Blanc, and that was it. And it's like, I know there's somebody in New Zealand making something else, and I want to drink it, but I'm gonna have to find it somewhere.
Yep. They also Merlot is their next red grape, the largest production. Then they do Syrah. They're starting to do a lot more Syrah with their neighbors just to the west there, Australia.
Sure.
So they're starting to kind of get into that game as well, and they're getting
It's
good results
Shiraz
from
in
it.
Australia.
It's the same thing. Yeah.
Yeah,
Syrah,
yeah.
Shiraz. Yep.
Yeah.
They're starting to get good returns on that. But again, they're just experimenting, figuring out what works for them.
All right.
And they do other things. They do Rieslings. They do a whole bunch of.
Oh yeah, I'm sure that they're
varieties there.
doing it. It's just
But
I
this is
couldn't
what we
find
get.
it.
I need it inside of my face.
Yeah, I want all the New Zealand wine, not just two kinds.
Yep. And there's lots of other good regions. Hawke's Bay, so that's on the northern island. They do really good work as well. But Marlborough is what really New Zealand is known for. It's their standard bearer, kind of again. Like you get like almost 70% of all wine produced in the country comes out of there. So
And it's not like 5 wineries and 5 vineyards. There's like hundreds of.
Yeah.
So there's plenty of producers there.
Now I understand why there's 4 million people there.
They're all just there.
Sorry for my
drinking the
lowball
wine.
guess. I didn't know, but now I know.
And spectators getting hiccups.
Uh-oh.
better wrap it up then.
Yep.
So
Yeah, and this is the. You know what that means? That's the part in Wine Wars where we say.
check us out on
Facebook?
Facebook and the Twitters and the Instagrams and the Stitchers and the sorry
And the hiccups. Check
and
us
the
out on the hiccups.
iTunes. And also just email us. Wine Wars podcast@gmail.com. Let us know what's up.
Yeah, if you have a special request, as our guest did tonight, what's her name again?
Kayleen.
Thanks, Kayleen. This
Yep,
was a
thank
fun one,
you.
Kayleen.
That
I
was
am.
really fun to do. So if you have a special request or you want to know more about something, let the Wine Warriors investigate that for you.
We'll drink wine for you if that's what it requires.
If push comes to shove, we'll drink this wine for
do
you.
it.
Yeah, without
fine,
food.
Fine. We'll do it.
We'll
Fine.
find you some stuff to drink if you want. Us to find you stuff to drink.
I think I'll do the outro because Anne's out of
Anne
commission.
can't-
So again, thank you for listening. Welcome to all new listeners. We've had a big uptick lately. Welcome to the show. Hope you enjoy it. Please rate and review us on iTunes. We'll give you a shout out on a future episode to say thank you. And until next time, remember,
It's just grape juice.
1, 2, 3, 4. Wine Wars.